Well, good morning, everybody. This is the 27th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Today's readings open up with Prophet Habakkuk. How long, O Lord, I cry for help, but you do not listen. Have you ever prayed like that? I cry to you, Lord, violence, but you do not intervene. It's the cry of the poor that feels helpless, the poor that feel abandoned, not only by fellow men, but also by the Lord himself. I cry to you, O Lord, violence, but you do not intervene. It's the cry of the prophet, and it is also our cry when we feel abandoned by God. We can certainly think of many instances in which the poor feel completely helpless, and they cry out to the heavens, asking for help. But here in Michigan, we have a unique opportunity this November elections to help those who cannot help themselves. We are talking about real life, human life in the womb. Today is Respect Life Sunday, and I take this opportunity to explain how you and I can be a voice for the voiceless when we vote. The Catholic bishops of Michigan unanimously are urging all of us to oppose Proposal 3, to vote no on Proposal 3. Make sure that you pick up the bulletin today and you read it. It's a summary of the statements from the bishops of Michigan. And we will continue providing this information in the following weeks. You may have heard about Proposal 3, titled Reproductive Freedom for All. The title is certainly deceiving and misleading. The bishops of Michigan are asking you to vote no on Proposal 3. I personally was notified that my absentee ballot will arrive soon, so it is never too early to talk about these things. Perhaps many of you will also receive your absentee ballots soon. You have heard the expression, the devil is in the details. Literally, when it comes to Proposal 3, the devil is in the details. And the devil is the father of lies. For this reason, the verbiage of Proposal 3 is very ambiguous. It doesn't give definitions. It doesn't mention women. It mentions individuals. And it leaves out the age of the individual on purpose. It doesn't give a definition of health care provider on purpose. First of all, Proposal 3 is not a small set of laws that can be easily revoked. That's not the case. Proposal 3 is a state constitutional amendment. It will change aspects of the Michigan Constitution. Second, the proponents of Proposal 3 are selling the idea that if you say yes to it, it's like restoring Roe versus Wade that just got overturned by the Supreme Court. That's not true. And let me tell you why. First of all, let's talk about some statistics. Here in Michigan, every year, 30,000 abortions take place. What is the population of Bay City? Probably under 30,000. Imagine an entire city wiped out every single year. 63 million abortions in the USA have happened since Roe versus Wade. So in Michigan, this means that since Roe versus Wade, we have lost 1.5 through abortion. But Proposal 3 goes way farther than Roe versus Wade. And it has the most extreme pro-abortion agenda in it, and much more. Proposal 3 actually makes Roe look conservative. That's how radical Proposal 3 is. And it uses vague language on purpose to advance the most pro-abortion agenda in this country. Proposal 3 would allow an amendment to the state constitution to legalize abortion at any time during the pregnancy for any reason. It would allow abortions to be performed by anyone, even those without a medical license. It would allow any person to help teenagers obtain abortions without their parents knowing. It would protect abortion providers from penalties for killing or injuring a woman during an abortion. This gives legal immunity to abortion providers, whoever they are. Proposal 3 also would revoke a state law that requires abortion facilities to be licensed and to be inspected. And it would require taxpayers to pay for abortions. So this amendment, Proposal 3, allows abortion for anyone at any age, including minors, at any time up to the moment of birth, and even leaves some lacunas that could take place even beyond birth. We're talking about infanticide. Anywhere, in a medical facility or in any other location, because the terms are left vague. But there is more, because Proposal 3 would allow minors to receive sterilizing procedures without parental consent. So it truly strips parents from their parental rights towards their own children. This is how radical Proposal 3 is. And that's why the bishops of Michigan are asking you to vote no on Proposal 3. In the second reading of today from 2 Timothy, we hear, "For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and love and self-control." So please talk about these matters to your friends and to the members of your family. Don't be afraid to speak up. People need to make informed decisions for their own well-being and the well-being of their own families. This is good for them to learn about these issues, to be informed. We don't want people to live in ignorance, but we want people to live in the truth. When they go to the polling booth, they will only see a summary with enticing language. They need to get informed. But as I have explained to you, when it comes to Proposal 3, the devil literally is in the details. But let me say this. You should not vote out of fear. Nobody should vote out of fear. We should vote out of love. Love for life, love for truth, love for God, and love for the future of Michigan. What kind of Michigan are you going to leave to your children and to your grandchildren? You decide. In the Gospel of Luke of today, we hear about the mustard seed. The Lord said, "If you have the faith of a mustard seed, you would say to this tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it would obey you." This is how life begins, like a mustard seed, very, very small. This was the size of you and I at one point. And thank God your life and mine were defended. At the end of the day, once we have spent our lives defending the gospel of life, which is the gospel of Christ, we can just go to bed in peace, knowing that life is on our side. That no matter our pasts, we can become apostles of the gospel of life of Jesus Christ to everyone around us. That like the gospel, we may have the freedom to say, "We are unprofitable servants. We have just done what we were supposed to do." Amen.